right, folks, welcome back to a Thursday edition, week before here. Incredibly, Christmas coming up. Great to see everybody. What's going on? Settle on in. Yeah, it's starting a little late today, but a lot going on. I was really busy this morning, and we'll get into it. Yeah, crypto does not look good. Crypto does not look good. It seems real bad. What's up, BG? What's going on? Bullish, Parveen, everyone else, AA, Ron, the rest of you guys, what's going on a Thursday, 1 o'clock here, a little late, but better later than never. Get the HPC for TradingView, Harmonic Pattern Collection. Send your TradingView username to hpc at sr-analyst.com. 14-day free trial. Listen, we're going to still do the Black Friday thing is over, but hit me up on the Discord, okay? We're still going to do a holiday deal, and but it's going to be like 25% off. It'll be HPC 25 is the code, and then you can get all of that. It just, if you missed out on the Black Friday thing with the gold membership and everything, this is your last shot. And then January 1 will go back to regular price. Everyone else, start for free at harmonictrader.com. Speed and the sound. Just keep having NASDAQ, after just think it's all we have to stick with now just because we've had a few announcements. I'm not of that opinion, and here we are with NASDAQ. Up 430 today, but just more recovery. Not a heck of a lot to go on. Just not a heck of a lot to go on yet. We had on the 5-minute time frame today, and what we've been looking at the last 24, 48 hours, just a couple of patterns. Gartley, type 1, type 2, and then we went Shark. I'm wondering, guys, do we come back on NASDAQ all the way to type 2 this Shark? On NASDAQ futures, 5-minute. March contract, by the way, we have rolled over this week into March, so should be kind of an eventful few months coming up. But are we going to come back for now into today and tomorrow where, we hit target 2 that seems to be capping the whole thing? And it streams glitchy? Hold on. That's a problem. That's a problem. Let me know, guys. Are we still glitchy? I think I'm going to have to go over to yeah, I'm on Starlink at the moment. I'm going to have to go over to that's a shame. Okay, well, maybe let's stay here with for right now. Okay, I appreciate that. Let me know. I don't know what the heck is. Maybe I need to upgrade equipment on Starlink. I'm still going to run both until I figured it out. But regardless, guys, 395 immediately for today. That's target 2 off of the Shark. I was looking at that all day yesterday. Now, is this just like a 1 day come back and then by tomorrow we're filling the gap back at 25,000? I think that's possible. We're up here. HSI is like 356. Had a really nice dump early, but that was about it. Then the other thing that I caught this morning, I had this other on the open. Here's another RTH signal. It wasn't a runner for the whole day, but worked out again. This is one of the kind of proprietary things that has just kind of evolved for me. I'm always looking for confirmation and patterns, but boy, we get a yellow dot, guys, on the 5-minute NASDAQ specifically. That triggers, and then the next few bars, you're looking for the retest and rollover. It retests this level, and that's at 370, and then you build the zone 10, 20 points, 370, 390, and the high before the dump was 301, and it was good for like 130 or more, high to low. I mean, grab half of that, 50 out of that. So there's been some things that, I'm going to bring additionally on top of other things like the profiler that we released. In fact, that strategy will be thrown into the profiler once we're set to go. And everybody that sent me their usernames for TradingView who are HPC owners, you guys should have it active. I know that some people thought they didn't get it and then they got it. So you should, if you have reached out to me on the Discord, you should definitely have it. So right now, I'd be looking at this immediate 5 minute bar for the rest of the day, and I'm just wondering, is that it? And then we roll back down. The only other thing, I've been looking for a retracement so we could get maybe a Santa Claus rally, and we are oversold on the 4 hour here, RTH, but you need one and then another green bar to get a dot. So, again, market has been drifting lower into the end of the year. I'm still of the opinion that January is going to have to be a reckoning for profit taking early, very early. So this is just, I don't know, since the dot diamond combination confirmation up here at 25,750, that has been a really strong areas of overbought, oversold inflection. And that is the other kind of new little bell whistle that we've added. It's the combo diamond, okay, where it is really designed to bring together HSI and amplified, where it's like you get that, you get the arrow, you get the dot with the diamond. That's solidifies it. So it's really stiff resistance and should be reversing within that kind of 3-5 window. You can do this on S&P futures, ES. We probably don't even talk enough about ES futures. You get the same thing. I just feel more comfortable with what I've done with the 10, 20 point range. Maybe it's like for ES, it could be like a 10, 20 tick thing. But, here's same 4 hour signal that's on ES, and that was at like 68.70. 5 minute time frame, what's that look like right now? Yeah, we're retesting another overbought. Interestingly enough, look at that crab pattern down here, guys. At 67.80 that completed yesterday. It's just like the shark. And still in a type 1. I mean, we are definitely still in a type 1. I would say that's your first HSI. So, watching this S&P, what are we going to do? What happened to Santa Claus? Did the sleigh crash on its way to New York to give us a rally? Hasn't left the station yet. I mean, 68.50 area, 68.75. This doesn't look like it wants to get through. If anything, the short term would be go dot to dot, from retest, go from there, retest down here area, which is, that's like a 3-4% pullback. The QQQ guys, that's been the one thing we have as like our guide. Where's the market going, up or down? And we've been talking about the 1618, right? We're just sitting here, big 1618. 628 on the Qs. Having trouble every week. We're not busting through that. It just says, okay, maybe we go into a 30 bar corrective phase. Yeah. Well, if Santa's going to come, you got to get oversold first. And you got to generate some signals. The Qs not there. If anything, the Qs are just digesting that dot, and then where are we? This is the last big event I'll be looking for, guys. If we do crack amplified on this next retest, we had the first one that, and I always say, no matter what happens there, if you crack the 50 go below 50, you start looking. We want to see that continuation down from 50 to 30. That's where price acceleration, but we can start as soon as that hits 50. And so in lining that up, that was like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Start looking in that 628 area, and there you are. Other thing that I'll look for, and this going to have a quiet week, especially going into next week. If we just continue to roll over, this is where structure breaks down. So that's where we are. Been a great year, but again, you're kind of like, I think after the year, it doesn't really, it's not a surprise. And if we do the 1618 up here, we'd have to assume a 382, a minimum harmonic retrace. Sorry. Again, that's like 543 or so, 545. Just feeling it, It's like it's up 11 today. That's great, but not just not making progress yet. I'll watch this. The 4 hour time frame here. If we can put in a dot, we're 16 minutes to the next bar. That would help. On the 4 hour time frame, if we can get above this 50 level, that would help. We're not there yet. Not there yet. Anyway, really quick, why not dive into Bitcoin, going through kind of the big markets, and then we'll look at individual issues. Bitcoin, guys, I think you know where I'm coming from on this, and we should have a talk. Because it's the kind of things that happened like yesterday, even earlier today. There's reasons why this market is doing this kind of quick reaction, reversal type stuff. I saw people freaking out yesterday because at one point in a 5 minute bar, we went up like $4,000 and then smacked it right down. This has got type 1 on a 4 hour chart written all over it. But the problem with it is it reinforces now 88,786. No relation, but 88,786 as not only firm resistance, but like razor edge. The fact that we did this 4 hour reaction and then just within the same, it was even 5 minutes. You got to look at it like this. That kind of just throwdown, here it is, all within an hour, is really symptomatic of what this trend is all about at the moment. And I just, I saw that, saw people really complaining about it because they probably saw, oh, we're going to go back above 90. Yeah, we're feeling good now. And it's up 4,000, only to have hopes dashed 30 minutes later where you're back down, and then you're down like 2,000 or 1,000 from where you started the whole day. That's going to exasperate people. It already is. We already know, though, the big levels, the 85 level, all of these 4 hour levels, 85. What was it? Was it 84, 84.9? It's depending on what. Here we go with this, the data feeds, but it's 85,389 because that's target 2 off the prior bearish pattern. And now we have this butterfly, but what would we need? Confirmation down here, something. I mean, we have this dot at around 85. And I'm not saying it's a long opportunity. If anything, this rejection at 88,786 is really a problem. Shows you how stiff this current selling is. Under 84.9, guys, that's another problem you need to talk about. The butterfly fails, and what are the other numbers? They're we're just go back to 83. So that's where we are with Bitcoin. I don't want to kind of repeat over and over the possibilities. Let's stick to the main levels, which have been in the short term 85, 5 ish, 83 ish, and then under 83, it's nothing but 76. I talked about longer term possibilities. I think whatever happens here, if we kind of roll over and continue to sell off into year's end, um, I think that's going to really do a lot to convincing everyone else that, hey, Bitcoin cycle is over. We're in a new year, and despite people want to say, all right, fifth year follows ISM and follows, business cycle. Well, if this is the business cycle, look out. So pay attention to this whole area. But just the fact that we're not responding already, there's just zero. I don't know if you guys have a couple of things. I mean, I will entertain them for a moment, like Solana, and I'm going to just say 105. Now 123. I've been saying 105 the whole time, and now we're 123. New lows for the move. We talked about how devastating these setups, these harmonic dud setups can be. Again, we're looking for patterns. Software identifies them all, but we need confirmation. So it's interesting that, yeah, we hit the XA level of the bat pattern, but we had no confirmation and we just go sideways. And then you see this, a red arrow against a bullish pattern. That's always a warning sign. If anything, it might even be a short opportunity down to the hop level at 108. That's a scratch. You see that, like let's say you just took it, you didn't know, or you're trying to play a simple reaction, and then you see a counter HSI. Goodbye, you're done. Move on. And that's been the problem with a lot of these crypto patterns. They develop, they don't give you confirmation, and if anything, they're little weak reactions just give you counter bearish continuation. And so the bigger concern with Solana, like a lot of these, what happens if this is not only the top but like mega top? And I think everyone sees what I'm about to trace out. It's not only harmonic. I mean, it's not only head and shoulders here, but it's, super harmonic head and shoulders. Little 1618 there, 618's there. You go 786, but you get the picture, and then down. And so I'm wondering if these are going to go full reset on us. That's my concern with Solana, and maybe not so much Binance, although that could take a nice, healthy retrace. It's stuff like Solana, and it's patterns looking left. It's Solana. I'm not really like 105 is just a starting point. Hit target 2. I'm concerned if that violates it, you never get confirmation and it just starts to leak lower, 90, 85. At that point, the only thing you could look at would be, pure harmonic pattern here, 4750 for the type 2, a looping, as we say. And so this was the whole cycle, and it was still worked out as a great pattern, but it was just a type 1 on the monthly chart, weekly or monthly, and come all the way back down 4751. Listen, it's 105, and then we'll see. But if it prints 89, I'll say go 47. So I don't, it's, if, I'm going to say it this way as well. You guys, why are we here? Okay, we do the harmonic pattern framework. Other than like Mitch, all right, who does it regularly and does it as good as anybody, what does the framework tell us? And why is the information so important? Because we understand, hey, there's a pattern that means something. And not only is there a pattern, well, damn it, it did the type 1 reaction, which is the ideal model here on a weekly. and it did the type 2 return, ideally hit XA level, and then responded immediately, followed through down 3 to 5, you're already on your way to T2. And then you fail T2 with what else do we have here? We have one possibility looking left. So we understand that from a harmonic pattern perspective and remove everything else. How do you feel about Solana? And you need to do that with every market. Okay, that's why, guys, you get the software. Let's give away a software. First person to do HPC 25. Haha, gotcha. All right, HPC 25. We will give you a 25-day trial. You missed Black Friday, but 25% off too. Get the 2-week free trial for everybody else. Send your HPC username for TradingView to hpc at sr-analyst.com. Okay? But that's why we're going through these charts like this. That's my only consideration. XRP is probably the other one that I have absolute concerns about. That I don't care about 186. I'm entirely out. By the way, I don't know. I've had various positions through the years, especially the last year and a half. This year, not so good. Last year, spectacular. But I'm also thinking, how many of these crypto have done these 886 resets, retraces? They did it last cycle. You know, XRP down here at 10 cents to $1.80, all the way back to 29, 28 cents, something like that. Why not? Because you didn't go true price, extreme price discovery based on the all-time range, at which you should have. I mean, XRP should, if it was going to do it, would be all-time new highs already at the 1618. And so nothing's happening here. There's zero confirmation, and my only whatever this Fugazi candle was back in October, uh, no comment. But we've just kind of rolled over like a duck, swan here, swan dive back, where the all-time 886 is at 70 cents. It's not 185. It's not 150. It's not even $1. That's how bad it is, guys. That's just looking at this stuff of where it is on the weekly or even the monthly is like in the same way that I said this with Bitcoin, I'm going to say it with XRP, that the monthly coming off of an overbought signal, and this is another strategy, proprietary strategy, but damn it, it really gets us in the right area. It could be on a 5-minute chart. This is a monthly chart, but we get this kind of breakdown. There's the 50 level, just like Bitcoin did. You have to do a whole lot of work before I would even consider that thing turning around. And if we go just blindly look, okay, where was the last time we violated the monthly? That was, well, geez, it was December, January 22. What happened beyond there? What happened beyond there? 22. Right there. There's December 22, January 22, and then what? You were already halfway down, but you spent 2 years before that even turned around again. You're on the backside here. Sorry. I think crypto's going to go down, guys, is like one of those things. Hey, remember the crypto years? Because one more of these kind of full resets, it's toast. And all of these are going to be, people are going to look at it like nuts. What was the other one? Well, the other one was Doge, and this is just, to round out the kind of the heaping pile of what, where I think Doge is like 9 cents, guys. 9 cents or lower. I don't know how it's even been able to hold up here, but yeah, bat pattern is at 10. We've got patterns here, but again, no confirmation. Just no confirmation. I'm blown away how broken the structure was, and it was only 2 months ago. But now you're following through. This just is for the crypto space. This stuff it's over. What else am I going to say? What else am I going to say? Would you even consider any of this after what it did last time? And you couldn't ask for better scenario across the board of the last year. Fundamentally, adoption ETFs, people starting companies that were going to come in and do this and that, and not a chance. So step into it. I'm going to just kind of maintain my overall position on Bitcoin and still say 76 for me is a monster number. And then the rest of them, like Ethereum and these others, I'm just going to say continue to look lower. Here's the daily. Remember the daily bat pattern? We talked about this. This is going to be a great education for a lot of folks, especially new folks, because a lot of people got excited about some patterns at the end of November, but they had no confirmation. And then even recently, realizing that this little reaction got the whole thing overbought, that's okay. In fact, that's a huge step forward for a lot of people's comprehension because I always say, look, reaction, come back, you have to do a separate move like this, confirm it before you can get the full reversal. So, reversal to target two. Where are we in that process? We're still in a reaction phase. If you can understand that, then you can let go of the FOMO and say, all right, until that resolves itself or I get some kind of other confirmation from within the harmonic pattern framework, hey, we're not only reaction, that was a dud reaction. 2670, we'll get there really soon or almost there, but I think it's more like go flirt with the hop at 2K. Anybody have anything, you know, any ideas, anything you want to look at crypto? I'm going to head back a couple other things that are happening. As far as our winner, Patrick, you win. Okay, you got to hit me up on the Discord. We'll give you that trial extended, and then even if you guys want to get into the gold and see what we do there, just DM me, connect with me on Discord. That's the best place. Also, look out for, we're still getting some scammers. I don't understand it, but I don't solicit everything, guys. Everything that I do, the streams here on YouTube, all the information is free. Get the free trial for the software. We do have on MetaTrader, Ninja, eSignal, Sierra Chart. So check all of that out. That's all on harmonictrader.com. But it's all free. Anybody soliciting in my name or anything like that, please ignore and block them. Anyway, that's the deal here. Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, let's talk about some markets that are raging, like gold and silver. And silver, guys, is probably the market. Gold was all-time new highs today, crack above 4,400. And we looked at a few things last time. Clearly, yeah, this is in the midst of finishing a parabolic move. That's how I look at it. But where does the parabolic move end? Is it 4K? Is it 5K? Is it 8K? All right. I think the best place to follow this, go on the monthly. And until we get like a dot, some diamond combination, we can let this thing run. On the monthly chart for gold, guys, look how ridiculous these readings are. I mean, it is all-time highs on amplified. I believe this reading up at HSI at like it's like 115 is on a monthly chart. I think that's an all-time high. Yeah, you go back to 75 here, guys. We're we're taking out okay what happened before the big run in 75. And I love doing these historic look backs because check out where that happened. You know, in terms of if this is a crazy run like 75, well, there it was on the chart at 77. And just let's look at the run. You have to think this way. You can't even think price. I mean, it's so dwarfed by what has happened. But here you go. And I'm going to kind of use this as the example. This only goes back to 75. Of course, you could go back hundreds of years on the price of gold. But, you know, that's where you were. And doing some kind of parabolic move. I'm just simply going to let the thing play out. We're going to probably get a massive candle like that flashes up within a month. And then we'll get this kind of consolidation. If we're anywhere close on this chart here, you know, it's like we could do it on a exponentially or you know 1/10 fraction here. Basically, we're at like 440, 500 before it goes to 800. 4,400 to 8,000. I don't think that's crazy. And we should realize that we are in the midst of a massive parabolic move. That's it. And it will pop out, you know, but just the history of gold really has all culminated to the last 24 months and realized some things that a lot of old timers and the way people used to talk about gold, it has happened. And people were talking about this in the 90s. Just that gold was the ultimate hedge and that inflation was going to really be a problem someday. To where people used to say to me, gold $10,000. First 5,000 and then 10,000. So here's the 5,000 prophecy coming true. I'm just blown away. And for me, like, just trying to throw measurements up there, guys. You know, the thing about gold is we've really moved beyond measurable targets. It's just simply about price action at this point. Even look at like this. Off of the financial crisis correction, that was kind of wave one. A lot of Elliott wave guys saying this is actually wave 3. But we're at a 3618. And I showed this last time. That's like 4,100-ish. And at this point, you just let that thing run until you have a bearish candle. I think this will explode, do some kind of pop-off move into January, February. It's the seasonable time. And then silver's the same thing. Silver, guys, almost hit the target we were talking about, a month ago. And I think it's just a matter of time. You know, silver's like this. We had the back-to-back patterns with the big bat pattern on the monthly. Okay, 1, 2, and then all the way back up. 1618 target. What was that? Like 68, 60, so close. I think we're almost there. Within maybe a buck. Yeah, 1618 on the monthly, guys, was no, it was like 73. Not yet. 68 was something else. 68 is the immediate 2618. But I'm thinking that we're going to see this up at these levels probably in the next month. It's already too far gone. And I think it's saying a lot about what's happening underneath the whole market. Silver, gold, palladium. What about Palladium, PA. Palladium just catching up now. Look at that. That's palladium, platinum, silver. They're all pretty much lumped in, especially industrial uses. Platinum's here, PL, not propylene futures, platinum futures, PL. Yeah, 2,000 an ounce. Remarkable. Remarkable. That watch this bat pattern here. But that with like we've talked about PLG where we were at platinum group metals. Some of these miners guys, I'm waiting for type 2s. Yeah, platinum group metals. That's another one of these. Kind of reminds me of UEC. Come on back to like 188. That one and CDE, core mining. Yeah, this another bat pattern. This is a good one. Silver miner 1630 guys. It's a 4-hour continuation pattern starting to move. Couple others. PLG just I think its time is due. It's coming. Couple more. You guys want to look at Mara? Oh man, CG. Yeah, let's look at some individual issues. Mara, guys. I'm the sustainability of this. Mara, we talked about this, and I really a lot of them that rolled over, and we missed. Look, I missed most of them. Like Clean Spark, totally missed that. Clean Spark went to 20. And I said, all right, maybe it comes back to like 17 or something. And it just has simply rolled over, completely erasing everything. And we didn't even get a bullish dot. Here on the weekly chart, when we were up here at 20, okay, I'm saying, all right, we got a dot. We got to let that retrace. It completely collapsed. Now we have a dot on Clean Spark. I really don't want to have anything to do with this because I don't like that type of price action. You can't even hold a 50% retracement. So, these miners, they were run and now they're getting dumped and getting pulled. What would be the type 2, guys, on Clean Spark? The type 2 is actually this XA level back on the weekly at 572. 572. I would just not fight it, especially since we've had not one but two attempts to get above target 1. Target 1 there, okay, basically smacked, send it back down. A bunch of those. The other one that's like the Tom Lee one, this bit miner thing, bit mine inversion. I don't see why this would not go back to like $3 or $5. And this is another busted IPO SPAC play that got pawned off. I wouldn't be surprised if he already got out 10% of whatever. Doesn't care. I mean, that's the game these guys have been playing. If it was American Bitcoin or Trump coin or whatever, they're pump and dump and they get out with $1 billion or $2 billion. So what? So what? Their stock losses. All right, they lose $5 billion, $6 billion from the all-time high. They're still getting out with a nice chunk, and that's what they all have been doing. All of these have been ended up being rug pulls in the worst way. So I'm going to still say recognize that. Let's focus on stuff that's real. Cummins engine here on a retrace on the daily. Okay, let it come in. We're going to get set up here. We're almost down there. The other one was Caterpillar. Okay, real companies, guys. Real trends, things that are sustainable. Here's Caterpillar. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, maybe not even 2 weeks ago. Now it's doing the retrace. We're oversold. But what's the difference between this and crypto or CleanSpark or whatever? When we retrace, maybe we do 20, 30%, but we don't do full resets and we maintain this larger trend, which is what's happening here. Never too late. Guys, never too late to jump on stuff like this. The other one is Walmart. Okay, and it's sometimes we overcomplicate it. You know, we avoid the leaders. Here's Walmart. It's overbought at 115. Great. Can we get back to 110? But this is the kind of trend you want. All right. I'm not saying this is a buy opportunity right now, but get that on your radar. We will have a retrace. Walmart will retrace 10 to 20% probably from here. 10% easy, go down back to 100. That would be great. But that's going to be the strategy, especially going into 2026. Like we're looking at the end of the year here. Okay? What should we be focused on? Not bottom fishing crypto that's making new lows. Trending stuff and a retrace. Yeah, Broadcom, Nvidia, they're getting there. Like Nvidia, I've been saying 165 because it's a 1618, 1902, go to a 382, that's like 163. No confirmation yet, but again, this is just, we don't have to fight it. All right, let it do its retrace. It's a lot like April, getting there. But this longer term trend has not, that continues. So it's from 163-ish. Let it do the retrace, and then we probably look like January, February. Broadcom, another one, crushed. I mean, Broadcom, really surprising. They got crushed. But, we're down here. Look, daily oversold on HSI. Probably another day or two before that comes out, but we'll get another dot, and this is another one. Just another within that longer term aggressive uptrend. The other ones, things like, I think Tesla, guys, we let that retrace. Tesla hit some big numbers, even though it was all-time new highs. We're still up at big numbers. We're right back there, 490. But look, we're here. We've got a bearish pattern, and now you have a bearish dot. Like today's day, really for confirmation, that's day one on the bearish pattern. Weekly is a type 2. All right, it's tough to recommend a long here. We were looking for the return phase all the way back in April. Really, like 270 went to 210, 215. Now 488. Yeah, that will break out eventually, but let that digest 480, 490 for a while. What are two more? AEI. I know AE is an old one. Adams Energy. AEI. No, please no. Please just no. No, I don't. You guys, there are too many of these. You're gonna get burned on. And what happens with these kind of the way these charts look? I know that's 80 cents and that's $4, but a lot like crypto. Okay, this is like a pump, and then we'll probably get some kind of dump, like that, and then all the way back down 886. It's just we want to focus on sustainable trends. We don't want to be just pop, roll, and you're right back down. There's a couple that I've been looking at. I've showed you before that I think are turning around. Here's Toast. TOST. Doesn't look like a lot, but when you scroll back, and now we can see patterns looking left. All right. I'm not sure if this is ready to go just yet because we have some counter HSI stuff going on. But this is, for me, the kind of pattern layout, pattern alignment where we have a nice trend. You go back 2 years, okay, thrust up, retrace, fail some patterns to the left here, bullish bat, come back, another higher bullish bat. You get the picture? And this one is trying to recover. I mean, you look at Toast here, that it came out as an IPO and they dumped it. But that's something that is recovering. It's a series of higher highs, higher lows. Weekly confirmation down here. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking at. Couple others. Apple. Apple is just at the top end of the channel. 272. I mean, 250. I wouldn't even think about it till it's 250. Look, we're at the channel. At the top end of the weekly, even monthly channel. Every time we test that, we hit that, we get rejected. It's at least a median retracement. That's like 257. Look, there's other ones like Meta, I think is finished its retrace, and Meta on the daily here, whole bunch of patterns making its way. Anywhere we can get like 600-ish, 626. At least we have some patterns. I mean, that was 780. This was 580. But that's a retrace. Amazon's the other one. And it's going to be like this. Going into next year, we're going to have kind of sorted various setups. Stocks are going to be at various positions. Some are going to be retesting. Others are going to be accelerating. But Amazon 214, guys. If we can get to 214, that satisfies not only the type 2 here, but I think the weekly is, hold on. Where is it? The weekly is a check back here. This prior weekly as well. And I'm willing to be patient on that to get that to trigger the same way we had that last trigger in May. That's for us going forward, lining up these long-term trend winners and going with them is going to be the way to ride it. And again, even stuff like quantum, okay, I've brought this up at least once a week. We want to be looking at these stocks. Weekly, almost ready for a retest. But these are trending, and they've been spectacular this year. Qubits, and then QUBT, if you're looking for a cheap one. QUBT down here at 10, it's a shark down here at like 9. Hold on. Where's my shark? Hold on. Maybe a 4-hour? Oh, it's a crab on the 4-hour. 953. See how the counter trend signal, again, you could take a shot right there at 953, but it pops to 12, 13, and you produce a counter HSI, send it back down. That's all right. So we set up another confirmation down here. That one, IONQ. These are getting talked a lot about, like they were about the dot-com stocks. And the way that worked out is to wait for the big retraces. Like this is 50% off its all-time high. I'm looking at this area, 42-ish, 40. We got a shark on the 4-hour. I think the daily too. The daily's like that at 40. Hold on. Clean it up. But again, we go into the end of the year and they sell off some more. This is what I'm looking at. And not to mention IONQ is back-to-back patterns. 4275 seems to be the solid number where it's not just, hey, I'm looking at quantum because I hear it's really great. It's, hey, I've got back-to-back patterns. I have a type 1 deep crab that went to target 2, stabilizing there. My assumption is that somewhere down here we're going to base out, and I'm going to look for that return move back to finish the deep crab. Still on an uptrend longer term. I mean, again, we go back 2 years, 3 years. I mean, these are monster winners doing another retrace like you did back in March. These are great. What else, guys? QSE? Sorry, QSI? Yeah. QSI, it's got that pattern. We're back. There you go. All right. I'm not as crazy about this just because it is a low floater, but hey, how many patterns here? One, two, three patterns, all at around $1. We just hit that 120 level. Maybe we'll need a dot here. And I'm going to say it's between $1 and 120. It's somewhere in there, but I like that one. There's a couple of those. What was the other one? Hold on. There was a few others. I think QuantumScape, QS. Yeah, QS. Getting a dot today. So start looking tomorrow, next week. That's a retrace within an uptrend. The rest of them, yeesh, not so good. TEM, Tempest AI, $63. What is it? It's a type 1 shark, right? So get to target, 60.75. That's how we read that. Don't, yeah, not really. Maybe another day or two. But clearly, type 1, that was triggered here. Took a little bit of time, though. And the last confirmation, man, that just set it right back where I wouldn't even think about it till you're at 60. It's not a bad idea on the retrace. I just would need to see some confirmation down here before I assume this thing is going to continue turning up. It very well could after you finish this retrace. And I do like it for that purpose of assuming, all right, we have a pattern. We have a shark up here. It is a type 1 reaction, but it's got to hit target 1. That's something I think people don't fully understand. To be a formal type 1, to complete the reaction, you have to hit target. So you're still in the reaction phase. You hit that and you return, you go back. A couple others. GML. Yeah, let me speed up here. I don't know that. Don't know GML. It's probably not even the right one. GM Leather. I don't know. That's probably not right. I would look for QSI around $1, somewhere like there. BBAI. Yeah, taking its time. You know, BBAI here. Aren't we oversold? Yeah, we're down here. Are we above 50? No, we're going to put in another oversold trigger. We got to wait for amplified to turn up. You know, it's still okay, but we're not above 50. You got to be, look, price really will not move. And I mean beyond a reaction until you can get back above that 50 level. You're all the way down here at 38. It's going to be one of those that'll just take the rest of the year. I wouldn't even think about it till January if it does anything. Do I do custom pairs? What's up, Conky? Like BTC, Velocity, Gold, Bitcoin? No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I've looked at those kind of relationships like Bitcoin Gold before. We've done that on stream. Dominance. The it remains the same. It remains the same. Look at that Bitcoin Gold on the daily. Look at that. Someone was asking to look at Bitcoin versus gold. There you go. On the daily. There's a crab. The weekly. Okay. But look at this. I mean, don't need to be harmonic to be a pattern, but it helps. But take a look at this. I mean, head and shoulders, guys. This is, X, AB. There's the shoulder. That's like a almost a 1618. Guys, Bitcoin's got it's almost like there's a shoe that's yet to drop. That's how I feel about it. And gold and silver with what they're doing, I would love to see a retrace, but with the progress they've made and forget about it. Here's the gold Bitcoin ratio. Why not 886 it? We've seen that so many times before. I'm I really I kind of turned nasty on Bitcoin. I would say second half of October, and it just has only I've only just been more critical. Like just admitting the truth. Again Bitcoin, guys. Here's the look. I like to look at other instruments as well. Let's look at the ETFs. Let's look at GBTC. What did GBTC do in the prior circle? And it's a weekly or even incredibly, it's a monthly Gartley. And I know I brought this up, but if this is the cycle, all right, that was supposed to be the cycle the last 2 years. Well done. Off of that big pattern, what did we really do? It was just a 1618 off of the pattern. Measuring off of the pattern matters too, guys. It's there's something about the pattern itself, and then measuring your targets off the pattern as well. Those levels are important. We get to a 1618 and we stall there for not one, not two, but 4 months, and then roll over and fail. For GBTC under 60 is probably the absolute breakdown point. And I said this last week. Why not? Is that a real possibility? A full looping retest of GBTC back to 15. I'm just gonna put it out there and respect it. And I'll just say, okay, that's possible, but I know what needs to happen first. You need to destroy 60 here. And then we destroy 60, then you've got some issues. But up here on the monthly, you did respect the 1618. You've broken down terribly. And then the final point that I keep saying of, tell me when we break the 50 level. That's it. And that was back in November. So now price acceleration, which has really in the last month, 6 weeks has been happening, take it all the way back down to the oversold. I just, okay, however you get down to that level, that's not GBTC at 67. It's GBTC under 60, I think, or it's 50, or it's not here. I mean, that's one. The other one, I guess, to look at is IBIT. Was that right? Where is it? Yep. Same thing. Same type of thing. Not a lot of structure. Less history on this one. But why not? I mean, come on all the way back. And this is something that applies to pretty much all IPOs. All like newly traded instruments, they when they come out, they love to have this 886 reset. How many times have we seen that before? A bunch. All kinds of things. I mean, Bitcoin's done it a few times. Palantir, Robinhood, they all did it before they did the major blow off move. That's where you are within the framework, guys. Quantum QS is a lithium battery company. That's cool. That's great. We still know the pattern though. QS, we're looking at that. It's QuantumScape. That is a lithium battery. But hey, people will think it's quantum. I originally thought it's quantum. Yeah. BITX, is that the other one, Mr. Feral Analysis? BITX, how are you today? What's going on? What do you guys think? Are we done? I mean, is this it? Because I would love to be able to see some constructive evidence of like, okay, no, it's just a deep retracement. Even this, the 2x Bitcoin strategy, love it at 18. Currently 2675. 1860 is the hop level on that shark. That's the weekly too. What about the daily? Same thing, same structure. Yeah, look at all those. Look at 3 patterns back down here. This is begging for a 2018 retest. Something else, guys. I really, again, I think as we come away from this year and then we look back and really, especially the last couple of months, how it's fallen apart. Yeah, it's. I think people are going to have an issue with it, the whole thing. The dollar, the DXY after today, is it the dollar really a problem? Is it a problem? Because we're here on this retrace. Look, that was the low, okay, from or before the low. That was the excuse me the high, and then down here, dollar got creamed, sold off. It is pretty interesting to think about how we've recovered, and look what the dollar did. So is there a true correlation? Dollar got destroyed, but it didn't recover. Markets didn't recover. Is there a correlation? Unless you're trading the index. No, but what about bonds? Because, the bonds are the other side to this of like, where are we going? 30 year. Yeah, we're still up here at 480, guys. That's amazing. The 30-year bond should already be at 347, and maybe that's what needs to happen. Weekly chart. You're squeezed at 480. So I think the 2 years lower, but everyone's kind of grabbing at rates, saying where's the market gonna, where the rate's gonna fall, and then the market's gonna have that liquidity, and they're gonna cut rates, and market's gonna go sky high. Rates are not dropping. I think they should still come in lower, but they're not really doing the kind of move that I think people were hoping would happen. It's taking longer. And when I say rates to drop, I'm saying, down here on the 2 year at 2%. That's really what should be happening because this is an all-time. What is it again? It's a 1618. It went above it, but it's a 1618. And where's the 382? Almost there. 382 is like 320-ish. So still lower, and we have to hit those targets, I think, for this scenario to change. Don't know. What's the warrior money? Oh, I heard something about that. Oh, it's for the guys in the service. Well, if you're in the service, you guys should be getting a 10x warrior check, quite frankly. Seriously. I mean, it's a nice gesture, but just double their base pay. Don't give them a little handout. Just double their base pay. Spend $1 trillion and you can't pay the guys properly. But that's how it is. Guys, nanonuclear. This is another one. High flyer. Is this done? We went bat, shark to 5-0. What about now? I'm looking closely. We got another counter HSI. These high flying stocks, that and ASTS. I mean, I'm ripping through a zillion of these. ASTS is pretty interesting, but next jump on point is down at 54. What about, oh, Rocket Lab was the one. Like, Rocket Lab had some patterns down here. Incredible bat at 42, goes to 61. But what needs to happen? Type 1, type 2, right? So I would be looking at Rocket Lab, even something like that. Come back for the 2. Retest the pattern, and then you could get something larger. Trying to line them up. I mean, there's not a ton. Honestly, there's not a ton. Things that even looked half decent. I'll show you one. First source builder. What is it? Builder's first source. This one's like Target, and I have been watching this thing all year. As it retraced, went lower on the weekly. This was a massive winner a few years ago, and I was thinking, all right, we have a retrace like 120. Confirmation was down here at 106. This is like so many, like Nike and Target. They're just not ready to go. It's really a tough landscape. Not ready to go though. Not sure. SMR, is that close? Like I want to see T2. I want to see dot. Yeah, we talked about. Look, SMR. Yeah, this is new scale power. All right, clearly, look at how this went parabolic. Textbook parabolic, guys. Hits the 3618, cannot get through. Where's the pattern? 12. You're almost there. And we talked about this at 19. I said, yeah, we had 1850, but the pattern is 12 bucks. I'm waiting on that. But this is how you know it's, this is just parabolic move, 3618, and you get rejected, you're done. Be lucky that you got a 3618. This is ideal tax loss candidate. This will hit before the end of the year. It's 16. We will be at 12. What do we got? We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks we'll be there. One or two more. Costco. What's going on there? Did we finally register? Nope. What's going on with Costco, guys? I would love to get a signal on this. A pattern. I got nothing. That one did break the channel. I haven't seen something like that. All right, deep crab here. Down at 840. That's the first pattern I've seen on Costco in a long time. No confirmation yet. Need confirmation. But I'll start looking. Problem with this on the Costco is that the weekly never generated anything. Not yet. NUAI, yeah, I mean it's like all of those. I think those are just they're pulling back. Nice, 50 cents to $7 pull back. New Era Energy Digital. Yeah, I mean, I would be more focused on say Amazon at 215 than this stock at $2.20. That's it. The rest of it, let's just kind of take a look at where's NASDAQ. 323. NQ really squeezed here. I think we still have We'll probably refill that gap tomorrow. I am looking for this thing to come back to 25K. I know it's 25,300 at the moment. Yeah, this is what I'm still looking, even despite everything, guys. I just we got to come back for the two. This is this looping situation. We had a really strong. That's a reaction, type one reaction, and man, we didn't get. Well, there's the dot. We didn't get a check back. So I would be looking somewhere in here 300, 350, something like that for the larger play down. If this was going to be real strong, we would have been up above T2 already. And take a look, the prior pattern, that Gartley, that matters. And we're going to be whittling our way down. I don't expect this market to be doing a hell of a lot between now and the end of the year. And again, I've been saying look for that early January pullback. And I think it started in early December. For now. One thing I also am looking at, I can only do it for a couple hours at a time. So you really want to learn harmonic patterns, guys, and I mean really get the framework. Pull up 5-second patterns on NQ and spend a couple of days doing that. The same time frame, the same strategies work on different time frames no matter what. But this is, the 5-second thing. I probably get into this more next week and then start to roll out some NQ sessions in the beginning of the year. That's what I've been working on. Working on also getting with a couple of these firms. I've kind of come back around on it. I think we need to come back around on it because of what has happened with, I think we can just write off crypto. Like, I don't see us even talking about crypto very much after Bitcoin breaks 83K. Because I'll just say, guys, just wake me up when we're sub 50. But we'll do more of this. What I do want to give away one more software, 30-day, 25-day, HPC 25. Give that away as a package. And if you guys want to join us in the gold members area, just hit me up on Discord. Send me a note. So next two people, HPC 25. We'll give you a 25-day trial to the software and 25% off. Everyone else can get 14 days. HPC at SR-Analyst is where you send your TradingView username. If you have any other questions, get with me on the Discord. But really clear about what's going on, guys. I think we have deeper retraces across the board. And we're going to have to just kind of line it up, let it happen. I really see kind of a slow grind into the end of the year. Maybe a little bump for a day or two on Santa Claus, but we better get ready for this little January pullback. Scott, Floyd, you guys win. Scott, Mulner, you're a little dyslexic, but that's okay. So am I. And Floyd, yeah, both you guys. And DM me your email, full name, and username. And I'll set you up. And if you guys want to come into the Discord, just let me know. Okay? Guys, have a great weekend. Just want a big shout out to everybody. We're going to have the same next week. We'll still do a show Tuesday. Thursday will be Christmas. Will be no show. But maybe I'll do something on Friday. I'll keep you posted. But enjoy your weekend. Do enjoy this time. It's been a hell of a year. I just take this time. We're going to get a little bumpy, but there's going to be lots of opportunity coming our way. And that's why we want to be ready early January, jump on this pullback, and then go from there. Until then, everybody, have a great one. Have a great weekend. As always, go get them. I'll catch you on Tuesday.